Hey friends, it's Lee here. I wanted to share something with you that's become very valuable to me over the years. Hi Heidi. It's not Heidi, although Heidi's very valuable to me. It is a bookending of the day. You know, my life, like yours, has gone through different phases and seasons and transitions, but one thing that's stuck with me for the past probably 30 years in some way, shape, or form is this spiritual bookending. A morning dedication of the day, a morning turning towards grace, a grounding. I call it dedicate and remember. And then at the end of the day is a letting go, like a releasing, reflecting, letting go. And these are just short little moments. But the beauty of this kind of rhythm I have found is, you know, if you've noticed our life can kind of, merge into days, become weeks, become months, become years. And it's like, how am I living this life? How am I making choices? Where am I finding grace? When am I finding myself? You know, what do I want? Who am I? And maybe most importantly, who am I in relation to myself, others, and life itself, or grace? And this is a beautiful pattern for me, starting with this first bookend, which is usually somewhere within the first 30 minutes to 1 hour of getting up in the morning. This is the remember and dedicate. And what do I mean by remember? Well, I take this moment really to remember two things. Remember grace, or in my language, God, but trade in universe, grace, essential goodness, whatever that is, the big good, to remember grace. To remember grace is. To remember grace is for me. Remember grace is making me. And to remember myself. Remember who I am. You know those days when we forget who we are? What a beautiful thing I find to start the morning with remembering who grace is, who I am, my goodness, and to dedicate myself this day. It's a kind of act of devotion to dedicate this day to grace, to my life, to my choices, to what I'm called to today, and to do it consciously. This is about being awake, you know, you hear that phrase a lot, to wake up. It's about a conscious choice, you know, and just this morning, this little morning activity, which can be anywhere from 5 minutes to a half hour, of settling, of grounding, of remembering who grace is, remembering who I am, and making a choice to dedicate my life today to be of service to myself and to life and to goodness, and maybe whatever my particular mission is in life. That's the first bit, really to orient myself to the day. And then the follow-up is this release and let go, to reflect on the day. You know, some of you know I practice the examine prayer, so it's like a simplified version of the examine. To conclude my day by reflecting on what was my relationship with grace today? What are the things I'm holding on to? What are the things that are gnawing at me? Maybe I want to write them down. Are there things that are speaking to me that want to move me forward? Maybe I want to note those. Is there something heavy on my heart that I'm feeling bad about, feeling out of sorts or out of integrity? I want to note that, and I want to let that go back into grace, so that I can release, so I can sleep. I can kind of close the box up at night, right? Kind of seal it back up, and say I conclude this day this way. And I don't want to say too much about this right now. I don't want this to be too long, but I will just briefly say one of the gifts of this rhythm is it lets me turn to living life day by day, which is really the only way I can live life. One day at a time, that old phrase, right? One day at a time. But it's true. I can't live the week. I can't live the month. I have today, this day. And this is a beautiful way to live it. So maybe you want to try on this practice of bookending your day. Remember and dedicate in the morning, reflect and release before bed. Give it a try.